Yes, good morning, everyone. I would like to invite Arun sir to start the session.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, students. Good morning. Shravani, Gayatri, Bhavna, Likita, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. All right. So, yesterday in math, there is also correct. So, she did not in math class. Okay, I've sent a question. Okay, let me send it in the group, another group also. Okay, I've sent a pic. Let's solve that question. All right, do you see the question? Did you read the question? Good. Have you read the question? Question तो अच्छी ना? At least answer that. मिला कि नहीं question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, he says there's a particle which is projected upward with velocity v naught or some velocity. What is the velocity given? U. And maximum height reached is h. We have to find h. We have to find the time taken by the particle to return to the ground, velocity with which it returns to the ground, displacement and distance traveled during the time of whole motion. All right. Upward with u, or let's say v naught because I'm using v naught every time. Let's say v naught. Maximum height reached is h. Time of flight is t. All right. I have to find h and t. And also I have to find out the velocity with which it hits the ground, which is minus v naught. And velocity with which it hits the ground, and also distance and displacement. All right. So first is h. How do I find h? How do I find h, students?
Distance
Right.
to,
If I take this as origin,
yes, sir. Origin to final.
my velocity is becoming zero here.
Yes, sir.
Right. So if I write s is equal to v naught t plus half a t square, v naught t minus half gt square. Is it big enough to read? Or should I write bigger? Half gt square. If I plot this curve, what do I get? I get a parabola. with two roots. Downward parabola with two roots. That is 2v naught by g and 0.
0.
This is my s. This is my t. Now look at this. What is happening? Slope is positive. As the particle is going up, slope is decreasing. Slope is becoming 0 at certain point. At what point? Midpoint of these two. Because it is a line symmetric function. Midpoint of
Yes,
these
sir.
two, it is becoming 0. What is
0.
midpoint of roots? 0 plus 2v by g by 2, which is v by g, v naught by g. At v naught by g, this is becoming 0. Slope is becoming 0. That means at v naught by g, the particle is coming to rest. That means time of ascent is v naught by g. Time of ascent is v naught by g. Time of descent from here is v naught by g because it's a line symmetric function. And velocity is negative. When it comes to at time t is equal to v naught by g, my velocity is speed is same as at t equal to 0, but reversed. Velocity is reversed. Magnitude is same, but velocity is reversed. So velocity will get hits the ground is v naught minus v naught. Time it takes to go up is v naught by g, which you have to remember. Time it comes down takes to come down is v naught by g, which you have to remember. So time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Total time of flight is 2 v naught by g. All right, that's the root of the parabola here. How do I get this? I equate this to 0. Displacement is becoming 0 there. All right. So at t equal to 0, t equal to 2 v naught by g, my displacement is becoming 0. So time of flight is 2 v naught by g. So first question, t is equal to v naught by g. What is h? I substitute t is equal to v naught by g in this equation. Why? Why do I substitute t is equal to v naught by g? Because at v naught by g, it is at maximum height. Look at this is h. All right.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, sir.
Oh, you said something. You unmuted and you muted yourself. You said something. ठीक है. समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ, sir.
समझ में
अर्थमవుతుందా?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just a second. Let me just check whether the speaker is. Yes, students, say something.
Yes, sir.
I'm able to hear you. Madam, able to hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
All right, ma'am. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. So I substitute t is equal to v naught by g in this t. So what do I get? S is equal to v naught into v naught by g minus half g times v naught by g whole square, which is v naught by g, v naught square by g minus v naught square by 2g, which is nothing but v naught square by 2g. That is, my maximum height is equal to v naught square by 2g. This is one way of getting it. But let's say I don't want to involve time. Time I already got it. From the roots of the equation, I got time. How do you get time of ascent? Time of ascent is nothing but half the time of flight because it's a line symmetric function. My ST graph is a line symmetric function. So time of ascent is equal to time of descent from by because it's line symmetric about this line. And this line is at v naught by g. How? Half of the roots. 0 and 2 v naught by g. Half of that is v naught by g. All right. Now, the other way to get it is I use v square minus u square is 2s. So v square is final square minus v naught square is equal to minus 2gs, where s is h. So v is becoming 0. Final velocity is 0. This minus gets cancelled out. So h is equal to v square by 2g. That's the maximum height reached. So you
Yes,
have
sir.
solved the first question. Yeah, good. Now, look at the students. After the first bounce, what happens? The graph is not going like this. After the first bounce, the graph is like this. Second bounce, it's like this. Third bounce, so on. Now I have to write the equation of this curve. How do I write this equation of this curve? If this is 2v naught by g, this is 3v naught by g. This is 4v naught by g. How do I write the equation of this curve? Second curve, after first bounce. I know the equation of this curve. I have to write the equation of this curve, which is nothing but displaced curve. I just displace this curve towards right to this extent. I displace this curve again further towards right to this extent. So I get this curve. So how do I write this curve? Given this curve, ఇది f of x. f of x అనుకుంటే ఇది g of x అనుకుంటే how do I write g of x in terms of f of x?
F of f of x minus
Right?
2v naught by g.
Right. That's absolutely right. X minus 2v naught by g. Students, look at this. By PC students, you were not there for the math class. So listen how to write it. This curve is f of x. I'm displacing this curve towards right by so many units. How much units? This distance is 2v naught by g. So this curve is displaced towards right by 2v naught by g. So if I've got f of x minus a is my graph towards shifted towards right by a units. All right, this I've told you in basic math. F of x plus a would be towards left. I've proved it in basic math. That you have to remember. F of x plus a is towards left. F of x minus a is towards right. And this is moved towards right, so it is x minus a. And how much is it moved by how many units? A is 2v naught by g. So I've got f of x minus 2v naught by g. So I've got s is equal to v naught t minus 2v naught by g minus half g t minus 2v naught by g whole square. All right. This is one way to think about it. The other way to think about it, I know the two roots of the equation of the parabola. I write x minus this into x minus this is equal to 0. Right? If I know two roots of the equation, two roots of the parabola, how do I do it? X minus a into x minus b equal to 0. But then this height will not be decided at that time. Right? That height could be anything. This is better. Translating the graph is better. All right. So f of x, I know. F of x minus a is my this graph. F of x minus b is this graph. What will this graph be? F of x minus 4v naught by g.
Yes, sir.
What will next graph be? Minus 6v naught by g and so on.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Now, what is the next question in this case? What is the velocity when the particle returns to the ground? It is v naught itself, but reversed. What is the third question? Displacement and distance. Displacement is 0. Distance would be? Distance क्या है? డిస్టెన్స్ ఏంటి?
4 V naught by G.
No. I'm not asking. See, height ఎంత? 2h కదా distance. Distance is 2h, which is h is what? V naught square by 2g.
Yes, sir.
So distance is V naught square by g.
Yes, sir.
Correct. It is 2h. Distance is 2h,
Yes, sir.
which is 2 into V naught square by 2g. 2 get cancelled. V naught square by g is the distance traveled.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go for the next question. Okay. Similarly, let's try the equation of the velocity graph also. Just a second. I'll draw the velocity time graph quickly, and let us write. So the first equation is f of x, let's say. First bounce, first trip, after first bounce, second bounce, so on. Bounce occurring at this point at 2 V naught by g. Velocity is becoming 0 at V naught by g. This is 3 V naught by g. How did I plot this? This I plotted using an equation, and this by logic. That I have to displace this graph and repeat this graph. Because my motion is repetitive, my graph should also be repetitive. Motion is periodic, my graph is also periodic. Periodic అంటే ఆ సేమ్ ప్యాటర్న్ రిపీట్ అవుతుంది. Sin x, tan x, cot x లాగా. They are all periodic functions. Tan x ఎలా ఉంటుంది? I'll have this function. మరి దాని తర్వాత మళ్ళీ సేమ్ రిపీట్ అవుతుంది.
Yes, sir.
So this is also periodic curve. Periodic అంటే for every interval, some interval t, that graph is being repeated. ఇక్కడ పీరియడ్ ఏంటి? పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫంక్షన్ ఏంటి? t is equal to 2 v naught by g.
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు look, write the equation of this line. How to write the equation of this line? If this is f of x, what is the equation of this line? If this is f of x, what is the equation of this line?
F of
F of x minus
minus
V naught
2 V
V
naught
naught
by
by g.
2 V naught by G.
Right. Because it is displaced by 2 towards right by 2 v naught. 2 v naught by g. All right. So please, the ones who have not understood this from BC students, please look at basic math. F of x minus a is shifting this towards right by a units. So I have to shift this graph by 2 v naught by g units towards right. So I do it f of x minus a. What is the equation of this line? Students, what is the equation of this line? F of x and t, f of t, vt graph. What is the equation of this line? Slope intercept form చేయొచ్చు, otherwise from the motion we can get it. V is equal to u plus at. What is the equation of that line, students?
V naught minus GT.
Right. So V is equal to V naught minus gt is the equation of this line. So equation of this line would be V is equal to V naught minus g into t minus 2 V naught by g. That's the equation of this line.
Yes, sir.
This is after first bounce. If I want to write after nth bounce, how will I write it? After first bounce, this is the case. After nth bounce, ఏముంటుంది? n is equal to 1 పెడితే ఇది రావాలి నాకు.
N minus 2 V naught by g.
n minus 2 ఉండాలా?
Yes, sir.
N into 2 V naught by G ఉండాలి, sir.
చూడండి, if I write 2n v naught by g. If I write n is equal to 1, I'll get this equation. Because I have to displace twice
Yes.
into 2, n times of 2 v naught by g. After nth bounce, first bounce లో ఎంత టైం ఆఫ్ ఫ్లైట్ ఉంది, ఎంత టైం షిఫ్ట్ అవుతుంది, 2 v naught by g షిఫ్ట్ అవుతుంది. సెకండ్ బౌన్స్ దగ్గర ఎంత షిఫ్ట్ అవుతుంది, 4 v naught by g. థర్డ్ బౌన్స్ 6 v naught by g. సో ఇట్ ఇస్ 2n into v naught by g. All right. So that's the equation of the line at nth bounce. After nth bounce.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else we're going to discuss here? Okay. ఇక్కడ collision దగ్గర ఏమవుతుంది, let's talk about it when we talk about differentiability. ఇప్పుడు collision దగ్గర ఏమవుతుంది, now what is the acceleration time graph ఎలా ఉంటుంది? If you want to plot acceleration time graph of the same thing, it is g from here to here. Here there is a sudden spike. Again g from here to here. Again there is a sudden spike. G from here to here. There is a sudden spike. At what point there is a g spike? 2 v naught by g, 4 v naught by g, 6 v naught by g. All right. So on. So this is AT graph. Look at this, students. AT graph is not a constant line. It is not constant like this. If it were to be constant like this, how would the graph be? Graph be like this. If I were to have a constant this line, I would have a graph like this. But there is a sudden jump in VT graph. Whenever there is a sudden jump in VT graph, we'll have a spike in AT graph. A sudden jump in VT graph corresponds to a spike in AT graph. And sudden jump in VT graph corresponds to a kink in XT graph. అది నిన్న చూసాం కదా, I told you there is a kink here. ఈ kink
Yes,
ఉంది
sir.
కదా, this kink corresponds to jump in VT graph. This corresponds to spike in AT graph.
Yes,
Alright.
sir.
Likita, have you understood how I've written the equation? Likita? Omkar?
Yes, sir.
Yes? All right. Omkar, have you understood how I've written the equation?
Sir, can you explain this once?
Yeah. What should I explain? How to write the equation? Or the spike?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Equations.
Okay. Look at this. This is f of x. All right. In basic math, I've taught you, or in math also, it's been done. F of x, if I have to move this towards right by a units. I have to do it x minus a. Then I'll get graph which is shifted towards right by a units. If I do f of x plus a, I'll get a graph which is shifted towards left by a units. All right. So here, this graph is f of x, let's say. So this graph is shifted towards right by 2 v naught by g units. చూడండి ఇదంతా షిఫ్ట్ ఉంది, ఇదంతా ఉంది షిఫ్ట్ 2 v naught by g. So f of x minus 2 v naught by g is my answer. But what is f of x here? F of x is nothing but v is equal to u plus at. V naught minus gt. T place లో నేనేం రాస్తాను? T minus 2 v naught by g. That's the equation I got for second line. After the first bounce. Third line ఎప్పుడు ఉంటుంది? After the second bounce. Fourth line after the third bounce. So n plus 1th line will have after nth bounce. So nth bounce తర్వాత equation ఎలా ఉండాలి? If I put n is equal to 1, I should get this one. So that should be equal to, so equation would be v is equal to v naught minus g into t minus 2n v naught by g. ఇది కనిపిస్తుందా? పెద్దగా ఉందా? చాలా చిన్నగా ఉందా?
It's fine, sir.
Omkar, have you understood the equation now? If I substitute n is equal to 1 here, I'll get this graph. Now, acceleration time graph ఎలా ఉంటుంది? Acceleration time graph is nothing but I've got a constant line with the spikes in between. Constant line g from 0 to 2 v naught by g. First trip, అక్కడ collision అవుతుంది because it is hitting the ground. There you have a spike. We'll talk about this spike, but spike ఎందుకు వస్తుంది? Sudden there is an acceleration upward. Sudden v naught change అవుతుంది కదా? V naught is changing from minus v naught to plus v naught suddenly. Alright, in a very short interval of time. That's why you have a spike there. So every collision corresponds to a sudden jump in VT graph, which corresponds to a spike in AT graph. But if we were to have a constant line like this, constant line graph, VT graph ఎలా ఉండాలి? ఇలా ఉండాలి. And AT graph ఎలా ఉండాలి? XT graph ఎలా ఉండాలి? ఇలా ఉండాలి. But you have a kink here. A kink corresponds to jump in VT graph. Sorry, kink in XT graph corresponds to jump in VT graph. A jump in VT graph corresponds to spike in AT graph. All right. Okay. Now, instead of this vertically upward, I've got an inclined plane. All right. I've got an inclined plane like this. On this inclined plane, I'm projecting it like this, velocity b naught, along the line of, that's called line of greatest descent. ఇలా ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేయట్లేదు, ఇలా ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఇలా ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుంది? కర్వ్లో వెళ్తుంది. బట్ ఇలా ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను ఎలా? అలాంగ్ ద స్లోప్. ఆల్రైట్, అలాంగ్ ద లైన్ ఆఫ్, దట్స్ కాల్డ్, చూడండి స్లోప్ ఇలా తగ్గుతుంది 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 తగ్గుతుంది, జీరో అయిపోతుంది కదా. బట్ దిస్ వన్ స్లోప్ ఇస్ మాక్సిమం, సో దట్స్ కాల్డ్ లైన్ ఆఫ్ గ్రేటెస్ట్ స్లోప్. On an inclined plane, if I say line of greatest slope, that means it is perpendicular to the base. It is along this line. అలా ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేశాను నేను. ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఐ వుడ్ ఫైండ్ ద సేమ్ థింగ్, సేమ్ క్వశ్చన్స్. ఎంత దూరం వెళ్తుంది, ఎంత టైంలో వెనక్కి వస్తుంది, అండ్ వాట్ ఇస్ ద వెలాసిటీ వెన్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు ఇనిషియల్ పొజిషన్. సేమ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఐ వుడ్ డూ నౌ. హౌ డు ఐ డూ? ఓవర్ హియర్ ఐ గాట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇస్ సేమ్ ఎక్సెప్ట్ ది యాక్సలరేషన్. యాక్సలరేషన్ ఎలా ఉంది చూడండి. యాక్సలరేషన్ g is downward. దీని కాంపోనెంట్ along the plane ఎంత ఉంటుంది? ఇది ప్లేన్ అనుకుంటే ఇది θ నాట్, ఇది g. ఈ కాంపోనెంట్ కావాలి నాకు, ఈ కాంపోనెంట్ కావాలి. డౌన్వర్డ్ ఇస్ g. ఎలా తెచ్చుకుంటాను కాంపోనెంట్? g cos of this angle. Alright, whenever I want a component, I talk of shadow. Shadow of this g along this one is my component.
Yes, sir.
ఆ షాడో ఎలా తెచ్చుకుంటాను? g cos of this angle. ఈ యాంగిల్ ఎంత? If this is θ naught, this is 90 minus θ naught. So g cos of pi by 2 minus θ naught. What is g cos of pi by 2 minus θ naught? What is cos pi by 2 minus x? Yeah, someone said something. See, I've got an inclined plane like this. ఇది సైడ్ వ్యూ చూపిస్తున్నాను. Alright?
Okay.
ఇప్పుడు ఇలా చూపించినప్పుడు పార్టికల్ ఇస్ గోయింగ్ లైక్ దిస్ అండ్ కమింగ్ బ్యాక్. ఇలా పార్టికల్ ఉంది, పైకి వెళ్తుంది, కిందకు వస్తుంది. ठीक है, ऊपर जा रहा है, नीचे आ रहा है. Now I have to find the acceleration along the inclined plane. ఎలా వస్తుంది? The g component along the inclined plane I have to take. That means shadow of g along the inclined plane I have to take. Shadow is nothing but g cos of this angle. What is this angle? This angle. If this is theta, this is 90. This is 90 minus theta naught. So g cos of this pi by 2 minus theta naught now. Is this theta naught? This is pi by 2 minus theta naught. You all agree?
Okay, sir.
So g cos of pi by 2 minus theta naught will be, what is cos pi by 2 minus x?
90.
Cos pi by 2 minus theta.
Sine, sir.
Sine.
Right. Sin theta. So my g component along this plane is sin theta. Let us say theta is equal to 30 degrees. So g sin theta ఎంత అవుతుంది? Component ax along the inclined plane is g by 2.
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, the particle is going under the acceleration of g by 2 now. It was ఇంతకు ముందు it was going under the acceleration of g. Now it is going under the acceleration of g by 2. So will it go further or it will go lesser height? Acceleration తగ్గిపోయింది.
Lesser height, sir.
Lesser height.
No, retardation తగ్గిపోయింది. చూడండి, the particle is projected like this v naught. యాక్సిలరేషన్ ఏదో ఉంది, యాక్సిలరేషన్ ఏదో ఉంది. దేంట్లో ఎక్కువ వెళ్తుంది? పైన దాంట్లోనో కింద దాంట్లోనో? కింద దాంట్లో తొందరగా ఆగిపోతుంది. యాక్సిలరేషన్ రిటార్డేషన్ ఎక్కువ ఉంది కదా, తొందరగా
Yes.
ఆగిపోతుంది. పైన దాంట్లో కొంచెం దూరం వరకు వెళ్తుంది, బికాస్ యాక్సిలరేషన్ ఇస్ లెస్, స్లోగా రిటార్డ్ అవుతుంది.
Yes, sir.
సో జీ బై 2 ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇంకా పైకి వెళ్తుంది, ఇంకా పైకి వెళ్తుంది. సో హౌ మచ్ హై, టు వాట్ హైట్ విల్ ఇట్ గో? v naught square by g was the answer, h naught ఇంతకు ముందు. బట్ ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ g I've got g by 2. Time of flight was 2v naught by g ఇంతకు ముందు. But in this case, what is g now? Instead of g, I've got 2v naught by g by 2. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
So instead of g, I'm writing g by 2. But what if I were to write 45 degrees? How will everything change?
1 by root 2. G by root
Right,
2.
1 by root 2. So v naught square by g by root 2 would be my maximum height reach. So time of flight would be 2v naught by g by root 2. So if it is theta, it will be v naught square by
Okay, sir. H naught and T naught gains.
చూడండి, ఇంతకు ముందు ఏమొచ్చింది మనకి? ఎనాలజీతో v naught తో ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేస్తే నాకు ఎంత హైట్ వరకు వెళ్ళింది? v naught square by 2g, maximum height v square by 2g.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now instead of g, I've got g by 2. Sorry, 2 into this. Instead of g, I've got 2g. Sorry, g instead of g, I've got g by 2. Instead of g, I've got g by root 2. Right?
Yes, sir.
అందుకే v naught square by 2 into g by root 2, or 2v naught by g by root 2, or if I write 2v naught by g effective, alright, more generally it is called g effective, or v naught square by 2 into g effective. g effective gx తో రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాము. alright, ఎప్పుడైనా g effective మాట్లాడితే what is the effective g అక్కడ అంటే కాంపోనెంట్ ఆఫ్ g. ఇక్కడ కాంపోనెంట్ ఆఫ్ g ఉంది, but in some cases you'll have some other thing. Alright, that we'll talk when we talk of that thing. But as of now, what is the effective g here? Component of g along the inclined plane. What is component? Shadow of g along inclined plane. Shadow of g ఎంత వస్తుంది? g sin theta అని shadow వస్తుంది. Sin theta is 45 అంటే g by root 2 is the case. Theta is 30 degrees అంటే g by 2 is the case. Effective g. gx is equal to g by 2. Alright. So everything is same except the acceleration has changed. So whole equation will be same. ఇప్పుడు velocity equation ఎలా ఉంటుంది? Velocity time graph ఎలా ఉంటుంది? ఇంతకుముందు ఇలా ఉండే, ఇప్పుడు ఎలా ఉంటుంది? స్లోప్ ఇలా ఉంటుందా ఆర్ ఇలా ఉంటుందా? ఇలా ఉంటుందా, ఇలా ఉంటుందా? ఇస్ ఇట్ 1 ఆర్ 2? ఇది ఇంతకుముందు కేసు జీ. ఇది G/2 అనుకుంటే G/2 ఇలా ఉంటుందా, ఇలా ఉంటుందా? 1 ఆర్ 2? దేంట్లో స్లోప్ తగ్గిపోయింది?
1 లో
స్లోప్ కిస్ 1, right? Because slope is less here. Slope is G, this is more slope. So this will be more than G/2, more than G. This is greater than G, this is less than G. If it is G/√2, where will it be? If it is G/2, where will G/√2 be?
Next.
1
Next.
graph.
ఇక్కడ ఉంటుందా, ఇక్కడ ఉంటుందా? This is 1, this is 2. Now which is more? G/√2 is more or G/2 is more? G/√2 more or G/2 more?
√2.
Root 2 more.
G/√2 is more. G/√2 is more. So which is more here? It is G/2 అనుకుంటే. So this has to be the case,
Yes, sir.
1.
right? 1, right? So everything will be the same except my inclination will change. So this is like this. Okay, further any parallel ఉండాలి, right? There is a sudden jump. So what is the equation of this line? V0 minus G/√2 into T is this line of T. ఈ లైన్ ఎంత ఉంటుంది? V0 minus G/√2 into T minus ఎంత ఉండాలి?
V0/G.
V0 by G నా ఎంత డిస్ప్లేస్ అవుతుంది? ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడ వరకు ఎంత డిస్ప్లేస్ అవుతుంది? ఒక టైం ఫ్లైట్ డిస్ప్లేస్ అవుతుంది. హౌ మచ్ ఇస్ దిస్? G/√2. సారీ, V0 by G/√2. ఇదెంత? 2V0 by G/√2. సో ఇదెంత ఉండాలి? ఐఎమ్ షిఫ్టింగ్ దిస్ లైన్ by 2V0 by G/√2. So this should be 2V0 by G/√2. n times ఎలా ఉండాలి? nth one 2n
Yes, sir.
after nth bounds. So n plus 1th line would be this equation after nth bounds. ठीक है? सरेना?
ठीक है सर।
हाँ ठीक है. Okay, now look at the xt graph. ఇంతకు ముందు xt గ్రాఫ్ ఇలా ఉండే, రైట్? ఇప్పుడు xt గ్రాఫ్ 1 ఇలా ఉంటుందా, ఇలా ఉంటుందా? ఇలా ఉంటుందా? 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3 xt గ్రాఫ్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది? by common sense, hot sense, logic. By common sense, what will the graph be?
2, sir.
2 ఉండాలి. Why? Because it's going to more height.
Yes, sir.
But how about the time of flight? Time of flight same ఉందా? ఇది 2v0/g ఇంతకు ముందు. ఇప్పుడు ఎంత ఉండాలి? 2v0/g
G/√2.
by root 2. So which is more? ఈ time of flight more కదా?
Yes, sir.
2 times more ఉంది అది. So this has to be the case. Third has to be the case. With the
3
maximum height to be, yeah, 3 has to be the case. All right. And second ones would be this case. There's a kink here. Why do we get a kink? Whenever there's a collision, we get a kink. Kink corresponds to jump in VT graph. Jump in VT graph corresponds to a spike in AT graph. So a kink in XT graph corresponds to a spike in AT graph. All right. ఇప్పుడు AT graph ఎలా డ్రా చేస్తాను? ఇది ఇంతకు ముందు ఉండే స్పైక్ G. రైట్. నెక్స్ట్ ఏమో G/√2 ఉంది. సో ఇట్ ఇస్ దీనికంటే కింద ఉంటుందా పైకి ఉంటుందా?
కిందికి ఉంటుంది సార్.
రైట్. G/√2 and so on. Okay. Now let us quickly plot a graph for another thing. Which one is where the case is like this. ఇది టవర్ ఉంది. ఓకే. టవర్ ఆఫ్ హైట్ h. ఈ టవర్ నుంచి ఒక పార్టికల్ పైకి ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేశాను V0 తో. V0 తో పైకి ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేస్తే టు ప్లాట్ VT గ్రాఫ్ ఫర్ దిస్ వన్. బట్ ఏమవుతుంది? పార్టికల్ పైకి వెళ్తుంది, ఆగుతుంది, మళ్ళీ వెనక్కి వస్తుంది. ఇట్ విల్ క్రాస్ దిస్ పాయింట్, ఇట్ విల్ హిట్ గ్రౌండ్ అండ్ అగైన్ గో అప్ టు సేమ్ హైట్. మళ్ళీ కిందకు వస్తుంది, మళ్ళీ సేమ్ హైట్కి వెళ్తుంది, మళ్ళీ ఇట్ గో అప్ అండ్ డౌన్ ఫర్ ఎవర్. బట్ ఫర్ ద ఫస్ట్ మోషన్ ఇట్ గో ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ హైట్. V0 నుంచి పైకి వెళ్ళి ఇక్కడ వచ్చినప్పుడు V0 ఉంటుంది, బట్ ఇక్కడ వచ్చినప్పుడు V0' ఉంటుంది. రైట్. Some V0'. That V0' will calculate, but that will not be V0.
Sir, can you write?
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
can you put one, sir?
See, particle is projected like this. It goes up, stops here, returns to this point with velocity minus V0. It crosses this point and hits the ground here. When it hits the ground, its velocity is not V0. It is V0'. All right, or negative V0'. It is not V0 పైకి వెళ్ళింది, minus V0 తో కిందకు వచ్చింది at this level. When it crosses this level, its velocity is going on increasing. So velocity will be V0' here when it hits the ground. Right after hitting the ground, it's minus V0 G, minus V0'. It goes up with minus V0'. It goes up, stops at the same point, comes back, hits the ground, goes to the same point, stops there, hits the ground, and so on. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Now let's plot VT graph for this one. V0 minus, this is V0. For the first graph, I need equation of line. Equation of line ఎలా వస్తాను? V is equal to V0 minus GT.
U plus.
Right?
Yes, sir.
ఇది V0. ఇది మైనస్ V0. కానీ ఈ పార్టికల్ ఇక్కడ జంప్ అవుతుందా? కాదు. ఇది ఇంకా ముంగట వెళ్తుంది, కిందకి వస్తుంది. సారీ, till where? Till it reaches minus V0 prime. Here there is a jump till this point, and then where is my origin? Origin is here. At t equal to 0 is here. ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఏమవుతుంది? It rebound to V0 కి రీబౌండ్ అవుతుందా, ప్లస్ V0 ప్రైమ్ కి రీబౌండ్ అవుతుందా? మైనస్ V0 నుంచి నెక్స్ట్ పాయింట్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది?
V0.
plus V0 dash.
V0 dash,
Prime.
V0 prime, yeah, V0 dash or V0 prime, right? సో ఇక్కడ నుంచి సడన్ గా ఇక్కడ జంప్ అవుతుంది V0 ప్రైమ్ కి. V0 ప్రైమ్ ఇక్కడ ఉంది కదా, మరి ఇది అక్కడ నుంచి, and all these lines going to be parallel.
Yes.
చూడండి, it started at V0, but jumped to V0 prime, right?
Yes, sir.
You see this? All right, now let us write the equation to this line. ఈ equation of line ఎంత? ఇది V0 by G. ఇదెంత? ఓకే, ఈక్వేషన్ లైన్ we can write it only after we get V0 prime. V0 prime తెచ్చిన తర్వాత రాయొచ్చు. ఆల్ రైట్, ఎనీవేస్ ఈ ఈక్వేషన్ లైన్ నాకు వచ్చేస్తే ఐ కెన్ రైట్, అండ్ ఇఫ్ ఐ నో ద షిఫ్ట్ ఎంత అవుతుంది? A0. ఐ కెన్ రైట్ f of x minus A0 తెలిస్తే నాకు చాలు. ఈ ఈక్వేషన్ ఎలా తెలుసు? V0 minus GT is the equation of this line. A0 తెలిసి ఈక్వేషన్ రాయొచ్చు. A0 తెలియడానికి నాకు V0 prime కావాలి. All right, shall we do that? Or you will do it, you will try it. How do you get V0 prime? V0 prime ఎలా తెస్తారు? V square minus U square is 2as. V square minus U square is equal to 2as. So V square is V0 prime square. U square is V0 square minus 2gs. S ఎంత? H here. So V prime is equal to V0 square minus 2gh under root. But look at this here. What is H here? H is negative. ఇది ఆరిజిన్ అనుకుంటే కిందది నెగటివ్, పైనది పాజిటివ్. సో H has to be negative H here. So this becomes V0 square plus 2gh. That is V0 prime. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So what I want you to do is, I want you to draw the graph for, I have projected a particle as V0, right? I want you to draw the graph for a particle is dropped from height h. All right, it is easier than this. It is dropped from height h. It will go to this height, ground. It will hit in some time. ఈ టైం కనుక్కొని, then it will rebound to height of, to what height will it rebound?
V prime.
V prime,
V
right?
not prime.
So but ఏ హైట్ వరకు వస్తుంది పార్టికల్ ఇన్ ఫిజికల్ సిచ్యువేషన్? ఈ హైట్ వరకే వస్తుంది. అక్కడ నుంచి
Yes.
డ్రాప్ చేశాను కదా, ఆ హైట్ వరకే వస్తుంది, అక్కడే ఆగిపోతుంది, పైకి వెళ్ళదు. ఎక్కడ ఆగింది అక్కడే ఆగుతుంది. ఎక్కడ ఆగింది? I dropped the particle, so it has stopped there. Velocity was 0 there. So velocity will again become 0 at that point itself. All right, plot the graph for that. Shall I plot it? Will you try? The question is, the scenario is this. I drop a particle from a tower of height h. I have to plot VT graph for this one. VT graph and XT graph, let's say. VT graph వచ్చేస్తే XT graph కూడా వచ్చేస్తుంది. AT graph also. AT graph is very simple. G with a spike. So will you try how to plot the VT graph?
Yes, sir.
Will you try as homework or shall we do it now? Will you try it as homework or shall we do it now?
Now, sir.
Now? All right. Then I'll give you some other homework. If 0 comes to minus V naught, jumps to V naught, and so on. Is it okay? Is it convinced? Are you all convinced with the graph?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
But graph is not complete. Information ఏమేమి వచ్చింది దీంట్లో ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనకి మైనస్ జీ అని తెలుసు, స్లోప్ మీన్స్ మైనస్ జీ, ఇనిషియల్ వెలాసిటీ జీరో అని తెలుసు, ఈ వెలాసిటీ తెలీదు, ఈ టైం తెలీదు. ఆల్రెడీ నేను ఇవ్వలేదు, జస్ట్ హైట్ హెచ్ ఇచ్చాను. ఈ టైం తెలుసుకోవాలి, ఈ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ తెలిస్తేనే మనకి గ్రాఫ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మొత్తం వచ్చినట్టు. దెన్ గ్రాఫ్ ఇస్ ఇన్కంప్లీట్. So what is V naught here? If I drop a particle from height h, I'll have V square minus V naught square is equal to minus 2g into minus h. Why am I taking negative as h? H is negative, this is my origin. Upward is taken as positive, downward is negative. Particle is dropped, so initial velocity is 0. V square is equal to, or V naught prime square, is equal to 2g h naught. So root 2gh is my V naught prime. So over here I'll have root 2gh minus root 2gh naught. Here it is root 2gh naught. So partially graph is complete, but I want this coordinate as well. ఇది వస్తే నేను ఈక్వేషన్ రాయగలుగుతాను. Otherwise I cannot write the equation of this line. I need the shift, no? I need the shift of this line. ఈ లైన్ ఎంత షిఫ్ట్ అయింది కావాలి నాకు. సో ఇదెంత ఉంటుంది?
V naught by
Yeah. Who said that?
Shravani, sir.
Yeah, good Shravani. That's V naught by G.
Thank
Why
you.
is it V naught by G? V naught ఎంత? root 2gh by G. So that becomes root 2h by G. So this is root 2h by G. And this is, what is this now? Can you tell this what is this? If this is root 2h by G, these two triangles are congruent. What is this point?
4h by under root 4h by
2 root h naught by g, sir.
2 root of this one. 2
Yes,
root of
sir.
2h naught by G. This will be 3 root of 2h naught by G. 4 root of 2h naught by G. So on. ఇప్పుడు నాకు షిఫ్ట్ ఎంత వస్తుంది ఇక్కడ? ఈ షిఫ్ట్ ఎంత వచ్చింది? ఏ నాట్ ఎంత వచ్చింది? f of x minus a లో ఏ నాట్ ఎంత వచ్చింది షిఫ్ట్?
which came
Root 2 h naught by g, sir.
చూడండి, ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడ షిఫ్ట్ ఎంత అవుతుంది? ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడ షిఫ్ట్ ఎంత అవుతుంది? 2 into root of h by naught by G కదా. ఈ షిఫ్ట్ చూడండి ఎంత ఉంది ఈ షిఫ్ట్.
Yes, sir. Yes.
2 into root of
root
2h naught by G. ఈ ఈక్వేషన్ తెలిస్తే f of x minus a రాయొచ్చు. ఈ ఈక్వేషన్ ఏంటి?
v naught minus g2, sir.
Right, but what is v naught? Initial velocity ఎంత?
0. V naught, sir. Initial
Initial
velocity.
velocity. Initial graph in the graph. Initial velocity. I dropped the particle at that height. Initial velocity ఎంత? Oh, we have crossed the time. Initial velocity ఎంత?
0, sir.
0. So ఎలా ఉంటుంది గ్రాఫ్? v is equal to minus gt. y is equal to minus mx కదా. y is equal to mx లో m negative ఉంది, minus g ఉంది, y is equal to minus gt. This graph would be minus 2 root 2h by g.
Yes, sir.
For the nth one, it will be 2n to 2h by g.
Yes, sir.
Now, all these things you have to think through. All right? 10-minute exercise అవుతుంది. It will just take 10 minutes. What all we have done? We have projected a particle once, then we have projected a particle from height, and we have dropped a particle from height. ఈ 3 కేసు ఇంకా inclined plane. Inclined plane is nothing but I replace g by g sin theta. ఈ స్లోప్ ఏమో వేరీ అయిపోతుంది, స్లోప్ ఇలా అయిపోతుంది. Everything is same. But of course, t will change, v naught prime will change. All these things you have to think through once 10 minutes లో అయిపోతుంది. Will you all do it?
Yes, sir.
Please करो यार. ठीक है?
Sir.
All right, let's stop here. Chemistry ma'am is waiting. See you tomorrow or see you in the evening. Bye everyone. Have a great day. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, students, now you can join the next session, 6 to 7 link.